Over the last decade or so, the business banking options available to small and medium-sized enterprises has grown substantially beyond the traditional high street banks. And one of the new business banking account kids on the block is Tide, which launched in 2015. But is it really a viable option for SMEs today beyond the traditional high street banks, or is it still too new to be considered a decent option for anything other than sole traders and single director companies? We've had access to a Tide account for over a year now, so let's see what our experience has taught us. Welcome back to the Basics of Business channel, everybody, and today we're going to be taking a look at Tide and specifically the business banking account that it offers to SMEs and whether that is a good viable option for your own business. This is part of our series of videos looking at the 9 different business bank accounts that we have access to. So after this, you've watched this, please check out our other video where we compare those 9 accounts across 6 different categories to try and help you make the best decision as to which is the best account for your business. So Neil, in the early frantic days of setting up a business, you want to get through some of the key things early. And one of the main steps, which we talk about a lot, and as I say, you just want to get done quickly, is to set up a business bank account as quickly as possible. And when it comes to Tide, what have your sort of first early impressions of been of it?
Yeah, well, I think, as you say, one of the first things you need to do is have a bank account. But I think one of the main things that we've learned about Tide is, first of all, that it isn't actually a bank. The bank accounts are supplied via ClearBank. So you do have the FSCS £85,000 protection and all that sort of stuff. Yep. But Tide itself is not the bank providing you with a bank account.
Which is interesting, it's not how they started. They started actually as an e-money institution, and then they changed to having their banks provided by ClearBank, which is something we'll come on to in terms of being almost like a broker for everything, but they're now a bank, but not through themselves, through something else.
Yeah, that's right. And to become a bank and registered as a bank is obviously a lot of things you have to do for that. And so quickest, easiest way is to be a broker for another bank, which is what they've done.
Yeah. And eligibility wise, it's got your single director companies.
Yeah, I think, and when we talk about the banks, as we keep saying all the time, is that might not be a problem for you and it might suit you. But one of the things we learned is that they're very much their offering is really for single people businesses, one-man band, one-person companies, freelancers, self-employed people. You are the business, you are controlling the business, you are the person who has the bank account, even to the extent that the access you can give other people is very restricted. People can get view-only access, but if you want to have different mandates other than, you've set up the account, it's your account, you have a business partner that you want to be able to make payments and set things up, you can't do it. I think, as you said, we tried to do it where we tried to switch the mandate from you to me, and Tide's own advice was, if you want an account where I'm the controller, you should close the original account and open a new one with me as the main contact.
Which is just bizarre, let's face it, in terms of when all we wanted to do, there were obviously more directors than us involved in the company, but as in all we wanted to do was, I had access to the account, I wanted to make you the account controller, because we knew we couldn't have multiple people on the account, and they said, as I say, we'll throw up the message we got on screen, but they said close the account and open another one, which is just odd.
Yeah, and as I say, that means the account wasn't going to work for us.
Yeah.
But if you are setting up your own business and you are going to make all the payments and you are controlling the bank and your bookkeeper can have view-only access to the account, as I say, that may not be a concern for you. It will do everything potentially it will do everything that you want it to do. But for us, where we wanted 2 people to be able to do things on the bank,
Yeah.
It didn't work for us. Any likelihood that you're going to want to have someone else take over the control, that is really bizarre that they effectively don't have a mandate system.
Yeah.
You know, in some of our other videos about some of the other banks, how complicated they can make it to change mandates and do things, particularly some of the high street banks. To not actually have that as an option, is very limiting for the majority of businesses, I would say.
But it's something to be very clear on, and a little bit of, I think we'll throw at Tide's marketing is it's for all businesses of all shapes and sizes. I think in terms of, from our point of view, that is not the case. And obviously the mandates is one example. The account opening process was not, it is simple, but as in for multiple shareholders and multiple directors, which we had, it took 70 minutes to go through the whole thing, and there was back and forward. We got the account, I think, within 3 or 4 days, but that was just another example of where, when there were multiple shareholders, multiple directors, it just didn't seem to work. The system didn't seem to work. You can set up your registered company through Tide as well, but again, it's single shareholders of company. They're all just little things that just give that impression of sole traders, single director companies only.
Yeah, their marketing and their strapline does not align with the actual process of doing things. So yes, opening a bank account for one person, one shareholder director, is a relatively straightforward process, but the system just really couldn't cope with the fact that there were several shareholders and several directors with the company that we used for our example. Yeah.
And that, before we move on to other bits, if you like this video, please give us a like if you find it useful. Thanks for doing that. It really is a help for us in terms of giving us a guide as to whether this content is providing value for your business. And moving on to a little bit of, it's not almost connected, but the fees element sort of tied off. Again, the suggestion of it's just for very simple, straightforward businesses in terms of there is a free account option. However, it's then, if you have any team members, it's £5 for an additional expense card, not many transactions as part of that. And then you're almost, if you have a lot of transactions, which probably if you're a business you're going to do, the numbers start adding up quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it goes from zero, as you say, to about £23 a month is the top.
Well,
charge.
Not even the top. The top one's 60.
Oh, sorry, there's the other one. Yeah, but
which still has a restrict. You get cash back, but you then get a restriction on transactions and stuff like that. And £60 a month for any option of bank is
and again, that doesn't go with for businesses of all shapes and sizes. Because if you were a large business, you would be paying a fortune in bank charges to them. And if you've got team members and everything else. So again, everything is geared to the one person business. And they've got this strap line, so there is a way you can, whatever shape or size you are, you can have a Tide bank account, but it takes time, it takes effort, and it costs money.
And it's exactly, and that's been our experience of it from that perspective. And moving on to other things we've found about Tide in terms of, I mean, the app is good. Online services, I would say, is a step behind the other digital challengers. Like other videos we've got on Starling and particularly Monzo, I think, are, from a digital challenger point of view, are ahead when it comes to the online services, although the app is good. Tide does offer 24/7 support. However, it's a key thing to bear in mind is that phone support only comes with their charging banking options. So if talking to someone is important to you, you're going to have to pay for it. You'll get chat support with the free one, but as I say, phone support and 24/7 comes with the paid options. Credit facilities, again, back to the sort of broker point of, you can get them through the basic funding things like Iwaka and Funding Circle and stuff like that. But it sort of emphasizes that point. It feels that they're just a sort of middleman bringing stuff together for whatever you need, whether that banking stuff, the funding stuff. I think with the legal helplines delivered with Irwin Mitchell, a law firm, again, they're not a bank in terms of what you would traditionally.
No, and
think.
again, I think it's that bit of, they are. I would suggest they were set up for single person businesses, and as they've sort of expanded and had opportunities to work with larger businesses, they're sort of trying to adapt their core offering, and so people, if there's any chance you're going to need to borrow money, at the beginning they wouldn't have been able to help because they don't have that. So by becoming a broker, they can sort of tick the box of saying, yes, we offer credit, but actually they don't offer credit. They just introduce you to people who do offer credit, in the same way as they don't run bank accounts. They introduce you to someone who runs a bank account. So it definitely feels like they have sort of evolved and created these add-ons as the middleman, but as a response to what the businesses want, and maybe they're just not getting enough single person businesses going to them, so they have to try and widen their appeal. But as I say, there are other banks, other people doing those things
that are
better because they've got control of it all themselves, and they're actually offering it rather than, as I say, just introducing you to someone else.
Yeah. And they obviously have had success. They've got a large number of businesses on there as they advertise. From a Trustpilot point of view, they're getting a number of positive reviews. As it will throw, I think it's 4.3 out of 5 out of multiple thousands of reviews. Just to be clear, not all of those will be business account reviews. There'll be a big mix of personal and business there. But
it's back to what we've said on all of these videos. We're critiquing the banks, we're critiquing the offering, not to be critical, but to allow you, as you're setting up your business, should I be looking at Tide? Should I be looking at any one of the other 9 that we've looked at, so that you can, as we said, in that busy early period, you make the right choice. If you are going to be 2 or 3 of you running a business, wanting to have access to the bank, I don't think Tide are right for you. But as you said, there are thousands of people who are very happy with Tide because they're a single person business. And as I say, you could have been banking with them since 2015 and be watching this video thinking, I've never had any of those problems, because you never needed any of those services.
Yeah. So that's it for this Tide Business Account Review video. As ever, we wish you every success with your business and your business journey. And if you like this video, you know what to do with those boxes in the screen, and we'll hopefully see you in another one shortly.